What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for stopping by on this extremely breezy Sunday evening here in Las Vegas. We're getting a bunch of warnings about dust and dirt, and there's like trash flying all over my damn front yard. It has calmed down though. It was worse earlier. And we are bringing to you this show, recording it, I should say, on this lovely Sunday evening post fight. There was some fights on yesterday on DAZN that we're going to be talking about, of course. And I went down. This is just kind of a side story. I went down to the arena for the fight, not knowing there was another major event, literally down the damn street. That apparently the parking that I was going to go into was the event parking for the said event that I will talk about briefly. But regardless, I just figured I'd throw that one in there. Thank you for stopping by on this day. We got plenty to talk about. Of course, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Jarrell Miller and Lenier that took place last night that your boy attended. Make sure to check our YouTube channel because there's plenty of short vids and then, or shorts, I should say, clips, and then full-length videos. We've managed to reach 188 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. But one of our videos got 4 views. Let's go ahead and bump those numbers, please, guys, if you can. But anyway, we're going to be talking about that, of course, and the co-main event, a fantastic lightweight knockout that we saw in the co-main event of the DAZN card last night. We're going to be briefly talking about those. Of course, Jarrell Miller and Lenier, which was the main event. We're going to be talking about AJ, Anthony Joshua, and what his plans are next, because they're a little, head scratching with the location, at least. With the opponent, we kind of get it. But anyway, we're going to be talking about AJ because he did say that he's going to be having he intends to have a warm-up prep fight before Fury later this year. So I'm going to play it a little safe there. Rumors are going up the ass right now about Devin Haney signing with Zuffa Boxing. Holy hell. Whether or not this is true, of course, we'll find out in due time. But so far, that seems to be the word. And whenever anybody in the boxing circle is asked about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes total sense. That's something Devin and Bill will totally do." So we might actually get to see Devin Haney on a Zuffa card. And it won't be one of those Apex cards, I can tell you that. But anyway, we're going to be talking about that. Oscar De La Hoya posted a video on his social media talking about his experience at this hearing in Washington for the Ali Revival Act. It seems like he's admitting he came in pretty unprepared for what they were going to have staged, I guess, for him. He says he's going to be posting some videos later this week about his experience and the corruption that he sensed in the courtroom. Yeah, Oscar, we could have fucking told you that before you got out here. But regardless, we're going to be talking about that. And a fight announcement: Tszyu, Errol Spence later this summer. All right, I'm down for that one. I don't know, Errol Spence's condition right now, but we'll see when the time approaches and the press conferences and see what is his physical condition and mental, I should say, as well. And funny, odd side story there. It looks like Tszyu might go with a completely different corner and a completely different team for that fight. Probably not the best timing, but I guess we can discuss that as the show goes on. All right. So before we get into all of these juicy ass topics, as always, a word from our sponsor, Health y Sol, or Health y Sol. That's SOL. Make sure to check them out. They are a tallow-based product company, soaps in particular, which is what I use. Lavender patchouli is my favorite. So make sure to check them out. If you happen to find anything you want to try, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get 10% off of your purchase. Or you can follow the affiliate link that's going to be in the description of this video, and you'll get the same 10% off. So make sure to give them a try and see how you like it. Again, lavender patchouli is my favorite, and I use it for everything. So definitely give them a try once more. Health y Sol, or Health y Sol. All right, so we're gonna get this show crack-a-lackin' with a little bit of a channel update. All right, guys. So if you guys know, later this, well, I should say it's officially Fight Week, Saturday, May 2nd. There's gonna be a fight here in town, Las Vegas. Gilberto Ramirez defending his cruiserweight championships, two of them, I believe he's got two belts, against David Benavidez, the Mexican Monster. So that's going to be here at T-Mobile, and they will be having a public event at the MGM Grand on Wednesday afternoon / evening. So that means there will not be a Wednesday show. We're actually pushing it to Thursday, and we're going to do it Thursday afternoon, well, evening, I should say, usually. Don't be waiting on Wednesday. Wednesday there's going to be some videos that I will be posting on our YouTube channel. Don't get me wrong, because I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get us some sort of footage. I'm going to get us some good coverage of what they call the open workouts or media workouts. Basically, they actually put a ring literally in the casino of the MGM Grand between Tap, which is a restaurant, and the sports book, and the guys on the undercard and the main eventers hop into this ring and do a little bit of shadow boxing, maybe even hit a little bit of pads just for us to take pictures and whatnot. And it is open to the public, so you best believe your boy's gonna head down there and get as much footage as I possibly can for you guys, and see what else what trouble I can get into when I head down there. So rest assured that there will be some videos on Wednesday, but the show itself will be Thursday the following day. So that is going to be our go home show. It's going to be our prediction show for Benavidez and Ramirez, and then also Inoue and Nakatani. So that's going to be our Thursday show. Just a heads up. So keep your eyes out for Wednesday for some footage, and then Thursday for our show. All right. So we're gonna get crack-a-lackin' with the Jarrell Miller and Lenier fight that took place last night at the Fontainebleau here in Las Vegas. As I was saying earlier, I was completely unaware that there was some sort of other event, a concert, going on on Las Vegas Boulevard and the main street there called Sahara, across the street from Sahara. It's basically an open lot, and there is where they have events. It was raining, guys. It was sprinkling, but there was a concert out there, and they were rocking. And unbeknownst to me, the parking nearby, which is the casino that I was at, was the event parking, or at least one of the event parking. So I had to fork up some cash to fucking park there, not realizing. I tried to kind of argue my point to the guy. I was like, yo, I'm not here for this concert. I'm here for the fight. It's still event parking, homie. You still got to fuck. So I had to fork up some cash for that shit. But I ate it, no big deal. And I still attended the fight. But let's go ahead and get crack-a-lackin' on this main event. Jarrell Miller defeated Lenier by, I believe it was unanimous decision. Yeah, all the judges actually had it in his favor. Coming in at the slimmest since I believe Andy Ruiz, which is several years back, a couple of years back, I think now, at a slim 305 pounds. Apparently, those 305 pounds did him very good because not only was his conditioning great, it was him that was coming forward, but he was able to absorb all the shots that Pero was able to land on him. It was weird. Pero it seemed like he got a little desperate a few times and started throwing some low fucking blows. Oddly, I think the primary time that the referee stopped the fight for low blows was when Miller delivered him and gave Pero a little bit of time to rest. But from my angle, where I was at sitting ringside for media, I happened to be sitting directly behind the red corner. So if you guys look, I was wearing a white like long sleeve sweater. So if you guys check it out, I was on DAZN a few times in the red corner and sitting in media, and it just seemed like Pero had no answer. His punches weren't doing shit to Miller. It seemed as though Miller was just walking right through them. Early on, it looked like maybe Pero was going to have the enough power to keep Miller at bay, but it was basically a slugfest, really. It was Miller and using his weight and his size to smother Pero, and it just seemed by maybe round 5 or so that Pero was running out of gas. And I was like, how the fuck is this guy running out of gas? He's a slimmer one, but it looked like it just wasn't enough. And by that point, you can tell that the second half was all Miller, and got himself a very solid victory over a former Olympian. So pretty significant there. Andrew, let me go ahead and bring you into the show here. What did you see with this fight with Miller and Perot, and how did you see the fight going?
What's up, Miguel? Sorry you watched me do so much while you were talking there. I had a lamp fall, hit my computer. The computer says now I'm on mute. Had to go to my settings. I don't know. I couldn't unmute it on the keyboard. Then the camera falls down as I'm trying to get. Oh man, I was like, man, sorry, Miguel. Thank you for carrying that on for so long. What did I think of the fight? I thought Miller got lucky.
Oh, okay, all right, that's a twist. All right.
Oh yeah, no, look, Pedro,
Pero, it's Pero. Yeah.
Pero, he fought the wrong fight, man. I mean,
Mm-mm.
come on. You know, Miller is a big man, stands flat-footed, coming straight forward, leans on you. You want to move. You want to stick the jab to the gut. You want to keep this guy constantly following you, though, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When I seen the young man standing there taking shots, telling my son, this is the wrong fight. Miller does this for 15 rounds during training. He'll take down 3 sparring partners. Let me tell you something, you guys. When Miller pays someone to spar when he's training for a fight,
mm-hmm.
They're not running.
Right.
You ain't paying guys to move around the ring, Miguel. They're standing right in front of him and they're trading blows, right? That's why he's so heavy. That's why he has the style he has. Why the hell would you want to come in with that style? Let's just keep his training, just keep that going. You know, everything he does in training, fuck it, we'll use it in the ring. No, you want to take him out of his game plan, right? I didn't think it was cardio that got him tired. I thought it was mental. He couldn't keep him off of him, and he couldn't freaking slow him down, and he just started breaking mentally. I mean, I thought the young man had a chin. He was taking the punches. He was standing up to him. He just did not have the IQ to break down Miller, who was gassed himself. I mean, let's not act like he was doing anything athletic in that ring. I mean, he was. For his size, he did go 12. He never stopped punching, so I'll give him credit for that. But he did look gassed in some of those exchanges. Terrible, terrible game plan. I don't know, man. I don't know what these guys are thinking sometimes. You know, we're just on a couch, right? Maybe I should go put in an application at the PFL. I don't know, man. But freaking definitely thought he fought Miller's game plan, and what a gift to Miller because it kind of brings back his career. You know, I know we'll get into that a little bit, but it just what a gift. He looked good, exciting. He has a name, right? Really hasn't used up the card. You know, that's another thing. When I looked up his record, he has a loss to give to anyone right now. So, you know, the fact that they're throwing Wilder's name already out there, AJ, his name should be thrown out there. I definitely don't see AJ standing in front of this guy, right? So, no, what a gift. Did not see that one going in. I probably would have had the young man as the favorite going into that fight.
Yes, especially Olympian, right? I mean, you would think he's going to be a little bit lighter on their feet. You think he's going to, and for a little bit at least, he was throwing the jab downstairs. He was throwing the jab to the midsection. But yeah, it just seemed like it wasn't, his punches weren't doing anything to Miller. He just kept, walking through them.
Now, one thing about Olympians, do you know what Olympics he was in? Because that is one of the things that comes with the Olympic fighters, right? Is they usually burn out early in their careers because they're only used to doing the Olympic style boxing. So that could have played a role into last night on him slowing down at the end there.
It looks like 2016, 10 years ago.
10 years ago, nah, he should have been primed for last night. That's not that. Yeah. I was thinking with his record, maybe he was gonna be a little bit closer, but 10 years, I don't know. That seems. Come on, bro. We can't lean on that for too much.
Right. I mean, he was undefeated going into it. I mean, I guess that means something, right? But I would have expected something different. Yeah.
His mom's all, Mijo, you sure you're training? Yes, mom. It's the Olympic style boxing. 10 years later.
Right. It's kind of funny, actually. I was going to throw this in here, but earlier in the card, there was an Indian fighter who was talking about how much he loves the Cheesecake Factory. I just figured I'd throw that in there because
was that awesome or what?
Yeah, that was kind of tight, huh? Yeah.
That guy's gonna get a freaking sponsorship. Maybe not all in throughout the world, but definitely at the Cheesecake Factory that he goes to and tries all 56 flavors, whatever the fuck that meant. Is that the cheesecakes? I guess is that what he's eating?
They have a whole bunch of different. I mean, it's a whole ass menu, obviously, right? So you can go and basically try different kinds. I don't know how many they have right offhand, but yeah, I actually have a relative. My sibling, my sister works with corporate. I actually hit her up and be like, "Yo, can you get this guy a fucking sponsorship, please?"
Yeah, no doubt. No, the one that he's eating at, they're definitely going to take care of him, I think, for the foreseeable future. But no, Cheesecake Factory as a restaurant is a great place. Their menus, fucking, it is like like the Yellow Pages, bro. They have every kind of food in that place. Yeah, I just didn't know what the 56 flavor. I was like, because I probably have never really looked at the cheesecake side of it. You know what I mean? I'm not really a big cheesecake fan. So when he said that, I'm like, damn, is he talking about eating cakes? He'll be a super middleweight by the time he's done.
Right. He's got the build for it.
Don't give him a freaking big check. He will not be buying watches.
Yeah,
he'll be buying cakes.
He's gonna show up like Jarrell Miller next and be like, "What the fuck happened? Like you're all of a sudden a heavyweight here. Like you're 305. I slimmed down." No. But yes. So Miller got himself a victory, and it was a title eliminator for the WBA. Which, I mean, if you look at the WBA, I guess not to give Zuffa any more ammo, but they got 3 champions at heavyweight right now. They have Alexander Usyk, who is the super champion. The regular champion is Murat Gassiev. Don't know who that guy is. And then they have a gold champion, Nelson Haisa from Albania, and Murat is from Russia. So 3 champs. I assume they're not going to throw him to Usyk. Usyk's got his hands, I mean, I don't say his hands full, but he's going to be busy. He's occupied, right? His schedule is occupied because of this fight that's coming up here in May. Afterwards, I don't know. But chances are he might get a shot at this Murat dude. And this is what this fight was supposed to be, which is kind of crazy. I was thinking about, oh, by the way, side note, after the fight, we were kind of waiting on Miller to do a post-fight, little media scrum or something like that, right? Because we got the email saying that we are going to be allowed to ask him questions after the fight. Well, home dude just took off. He just booked it. I don't know if somebody gave him didn't send him the memo, but he was supposed to, wait around for us to like ask him questions and shit. But no, home dude just bolted. So, where I was going to get to with that is I was going to ask him like, oh man, what a long road, right? What a long road this has been, going back to 2019 when he was supposed to fight AJ, and then, the doping and everything. And then they put in Ruiz, and Ruiz beats AJ, and you're like, oh shit, this could have been you, fool. This could have been you. And then, later on he fights Ruiz and there's like a majority draw or something like that, Miller and Ruiz. And, now we don't hear from Ruiz as much. He's kind of off in obscurity, and here's Miller getting himself a WBA title shot with this victory. So I was gonna tell him that, like, damn, what a long road that's been. And then, of course, his last fight against eBay and the viral hair flopping all over the place. But I was gonna ask him about that. Like, do you feel redeemed now? Do you feel like a sense of redemption? Has he redeemed himself, Andrew? Do you think Miller has done so from what happened back in 2019 to now?
As far as getting a fight, putting himself back in line to get a decent payday, yes, I do. As far as that payday being what it would have been when he fought Anthony Joshua, no, won't be that. So, but at least he's there again, right? $1.5 million is still a decent payday. That's what I say. I think he's at. I don't know really, but that. He's on the lower end of the heavyweight.
That sounds reasonable. I mean, it's not like it's in the 3-4s. I don't think so. Right. Yeah, maybe 2 would be the cap.
Right. And I looked up the WBA belt structure because I got kind of thrown off on when you said the gold belt. So what I'm seeing here is obviously the super champ is created when the champion unifies. So as soon as they grab another belt, they create the super champion for the WBA, which is kind of weird because that I don't know why there has to be a regular champion, but the regular champion recognized as a secondary champion when a super champion exists in the same division. Does that make sense? You need to hear that again?
Yeah, please.
Regular champion is recognized as a secondary champion when a super champion exists in the same division. If the super title is vacated, the regular champion may be promoted or a match for the vacant spot may be scheduled. I have no idea what the regular champion, what his purpose is, bro. I'm going to read this one more time because I don't see a purpose for him other than a sanctioning fee, right? And pulling someone's leg here. Recognized as a secondary champion when a super champion exists in the same division. If the super title is vacated, the regular champion may be promoted or a match for the vacant spot may be scheduled. So he's really never the champion.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So there's always going to be two champs? There will always be two spots at the top? The hell?
Like, when the super guy vacates, yeah, you can fight for it. What is I wonder what that sanctioning fee is. Wow. Regular champion WBA is pathetic. Interim champion appointed if a champion is injured or unavailable to fight. Okay.
Well, that's what interim means, basically, just temporary, pretty much, until the real champion comes back.
A low tier. All right. So the gold champion is a lower tier title, sometimes used essentially functioning as a secondary tertiary interim title. The hell does that mean? The fuck is all this mean, you guys?
Jeez. I mean, what else can it be?
Tier title, sometimes you essentially functioning as a secondary interim title. I'd have to look up that word. So let me see what that word is. You go ahead and move on with.
It's like the interim for the interim. So if like the current interim champion is not available, they're going to have an interim for that. I mean, I really like essentially what you said. I think is true. It basically is just another excuse to collect another sanction fee from another champ just for the pleasure of holding their fucking belts. I figured they weren't going to throw him at Usyk next, even though he's basically now number one for that belt. I figured they were just going to try to throw him at this other dude, this Murad guy, whose face actually does look familiar, but his name doesn't. So I might have to go back and kind of take a look at where he's at, or what his record is and everything like that. But yeah, I can kind of guess that they're not going to throw him at Alexander. He's got other plans, I'm sure. The plan, I guess, right now, if you want to call it that, it seemed. Oh, go ahead.
Just to close it up. The third belt, the gold level, the gold champion, Miguel, essentially is the WBA's way of having a third string title holder in the same weight class. Wow. There's a lot of some fake ass sanctioning fees going on there. Wow. I wonder what they're charging for those two belts. The gold belt and the regular belt. The interim I get. If they don't want to do the number one contender bullshit route, I get the interim title, right? The regular champ and the gold champ, I don't understand. Essentially, it's the WBA way of having a third string title holder. What?
Yeah, it's like when you said, right, that the super champ is one that's unified. I assume that one is like the big money champ. So like, the regular champ will never actually get a crack at him. And frankly, the only other people that will get a shot at him are other big name fighters and not, contenders like, I guess, in this case, Jarrell Miller. But it looks, and even funnier is I thought maybe after the fight, that would have been like, all right, cool. I want Usyk or I want this Murad dude or whoever the fuck, right? But no, Eddie Hearn was like, yeah, let's do Wilder. Not even for you just fought to get a fucking mandatory or to be the number one contender. This is title eliminator puts you in line for the belt. And who do you want next is a Deontay Wilder. And I mean, he threw in some reasoning, right? Eddie Hearn was like, do it in fucking New York, do it in Barclays. Let's do it up there. They're both from, Jarrell is from New York and I think he's from Brooklyn himself. And then, with Wilder being from Alabama or whatever, do it in Alabama. So he threw out some suggestions, right? He trying to make it like more plausible, but what the fuck for? I mean, you just won at this, you went through this tough fight, got out of this a victory to get yourself a number one contender, I guess, as the mandatory challenger that you will be now for the belt, and you're not calling out the champ. Seems kind of funny.
It does. It's Eddie Hearn protecting the shit out of Anthony Joshua. He doesn't want His Excellency to get any bright ideas to try to put Joshua and Miller in the ring together. That's what I'm going off of why Eddie's right away throwing Deontay Wilder's name in there, even already has a fucking location for it, a reason why the fight should happen, right? Like, was he thinking of this as he was watching Miller throw all those punches? He's throwing a lot of shots. One of those would have hurt AJ. We don't want this fight. We don't we don't want this fight. And I don't think they should be that scared of Miller. I didn't see that much from Miller that would make me nervous on AJ, besides the fact that I'm guessing they're looking like I think we made jokes about the kind of level opposition they were going to go for. His little above his shadow is what they're looking for. So definitely it's not Miller. But if this was like a title defense, I wouldn't have AJ close to being an underdog against Miller. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, that's exactly why I think Eddie Hearn had Miller's future already planned out. He was planning that shit as he was watching the fight. Nothing, and really he shouldn't, Miguel. Nothing should stop AJ versus Fury from happening for the UK fans. They've been waiting for that fight. The fight's right on the fucking doorstep. They just got to step in, right? The door's open. They just got to walk in now. Can we get this thing done already?
Yeah. Can we get to the finish line already, please? Because for some reason, there's always some sort of hurdle that ends up throwing things off. And
unfortunately, you can't even say greed, because he lost to a 15th ranked fighter that really threw this off last time. Well, maybe Dubois might have been the last one that did it, but when Andy Ruiz did it when it was at its peak. Andy Ruiz is a fill-in guy, so you really can't blame boxing. That was AJ's fault.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, and I'll throw another one. I mean, I remember them prepping him for Fury or something big. Maybe even might have been even Wilder. I don't remember. But when he had to defend the belt against one of the mandatory challengers, and who was it? Usyk. So it's like, another fucking roadblock or a hurdle. That one I probably would have understood if they did duck him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of a fucking a major what is it? What's that word? I forget that monkey wrench into the plans, right? But the fact that we're this close yet again. Let's play it safe, and I'm going to talk about that because that's kind of like the second part of the story here. But good win by Miller. It was fun. It was a nice slugfest. It was this was a little bit of a funny side story. On the posters, this fight was like coined as a hair raiser. I guess at some sort of pun for what happened with Miller and his hair in the previous fucking fight. Like if you look at the poster, it has like a pair of scissors on there. It's like, gosh, I don't know. Was that I wish that was Miller's idea, like that's just funny, fucking do it. But if it wasn't, that's kind of low of the zone to do that shit. What the fuck?
Well, they were talking about Miller's numbers went through like the millions, dude. I don't think he got that many followers from it, but his how do they say it? The hits on his website, or how many people, the traffic that went through his social media platforms reached the millions. Now, is that true or not? I don't know, but with that success and that social media success, I'm sure Miller was like, I don't care, let's roll with it. Right. The problem was they waited so long to bring that back. You know what I mean? All the casuals probably forgot that even had happened. You know what I'm saying? It was a good fight. It was a good fight. Unfortunately, DAZN would have to release the numbers on how many people actually watch it to see if the hair thing did him any justice.
Yeah. No kidding. I think that's all I had as far as like that part goes. I was a little upset that Miller didn't stick around for afterwards. He was doing his best to sell DAZN like hard. He was like the home of boxing and all this stuff, right? Like who would have thought we're gonna be streaming fights, on our phones and everything. So he was he was obviously trying to be a salesman there, right, and trying to be a company man with the zone and everything. Um, I like the personality, right? I think we kind of need this, right? And I'm considering we're kind of really low on like American heavyweights. I'm not sure how old he is, but I mean, he's kind of our last sort of hope for the time being. I mean, I'm not sure how much longer he's going to stick around, but 37. Fuck, man, this is it. It's him and Wilder, I guess, for now. I mean, we'll have Richard Torres coming up here very soon, but rather than not, he'll get there. But as far as like guys at the top, yeah, I guess if he makes it there, if Jarrell Miller makes it there where he's a champion and it's like, damn, he's our next American champ, I don't see him being up there for too much longer because being at 37.
Yeah, being at 37, and he was really never he's never really made it to the top of the mountain. Right now, all Miller is kind of a gap filler for one of these other headliners. If they're looking for a quick fight, Jarrell Miller's sitting there with a decent record, got a good, has been on a lot of TV, so he's got a lot of exposure. It's a decent fight.
He's our closest hope, no? Like, he's our closest hope. I mean, besides maybe, again, Richard Torres, which is kind of coming up.
He's our way up. He's our closest hope as far as what, like a miracle happening and we get a heavyweight champ, but he's not going to be defending the heavyweight. There's no run coming from Miller. Is I guess what I'm trying to say, right? He might have a miracle night, but that would be it. I don't see it in his training, in his attitude. Like I said, I honestly want to say it was more the opponent this weekend that really let down his corner than it was Miller doing something special. Miller just kept throwing punches, but he was very tired. He was sloppy. They called it ugly boxing numerous times on the telecast, and it was. Both guys were.
Oh, did they really? Shit, I haven't actually watched the telecast.
It was
I was there, obviously, right? So I didn't hear him. No,
they laid on each other. They were throwing hand punches from the hips, mouth exposed. Like it was sloppy stuff. Like there was no. Some of those rounds, there was no technique at all. It was all man. Whoever's just gonna be able to. And honestly, hats off to the young man for withstanding all those punches. There was a few times I thought he was going to get his foundation broken and finally get him out of there. Now, I would say neither of them threw enough body punches. Especially Miller. Miller was so locked in on all those little baby headshots. He thought he was just going to beat him down.
I noticed that they were like kind of, I'm not really in a clinch, but in close quarters. And it wasn't just the one punch. He'd be like, like 2, 3 or 3. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, if that counts or whatever, I mean, obviously it does count on the punch stat, right? But I'm not sure how much more damage that would have really done.
Yeah, no, the damage, it wasn't there. He was, I think, trying to break him mentally, like I leaned on before. I think he knew that all those punches that young man's face was going to stop him, and it was helping him conserve his energy. I wish he would have mixed a little of those right hands, either straight to the body or just turn over the right hand with a more of an A to B approach. That straight, bam, 6 inches is all you need. He kept throwing this looping right hand. And I thought that was either enough to have the young man brace, get ready for the shot, or block the shot where he wasn't landing it fully. But if he was doing more of just because he was doing a lot of inside fighting, there was a lot of small punches going on. It just seemed like Miller wasn't putting a lot behind the punches. So I think if he would have done that and mixed up a lot more to the going to the body, he would have gotten this young man out of there. But he won. He's got, decent record. He will move on. And yeah, to answer your question one more time, I do think that he has put himself in line to get a shot. I think people have forgotten about the cocktail of steroids that he was on. And maybe that's what the small punches is from, Miguel.
What do you mean?
Maybe because he ain't on his steroids. Maybe that's where all the small punching is now coming from. He got baby shots now. Baby Miller, baby shots.
Right. Yeah, right. No, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
His trainer's all, fuck, that's why they named him Baby.
Yeah. Right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is that where that came from? Is that like no, that's not it. It's just something else. Okay, yeah, sure, Jarrell. Whatever you say.
They got to give him that horse fucking muscle, whatever.
Horse
Fucking
tranquilizer or whatever. I don't know whatever the fuck it is that they gave him.
horse steroid. And then he's all.
Yeah, precisely. He's just in the ring. He's like making fucking horse sounds and shit. Like, oh, like, whoa, what the fuck? What happened to this guy? It's like, is that why your hair's coming out? Like, no, your hair should be growing in like a fucking nice to me.
Hey, and his hair looked fine. Why was he wearing a wig? I mean, what the fuck?
Well, I think he had said, and I don't remember, don't quote me on this one, but I remember him saying that he used some sort of hair product that actually like burnt some of his hair and it like left a patch or something. So he's like, fuck, that looks terrible. So he decided to just shave that area and then put a fake one on there. But he has hair. It's just that whatever hair product I think he was using was fucking up that little thing. And if you see it, it's growing back, but it's taking a little bit. It was still a little bit patchy, right? But it hasn't fully grown back in yet. But apparently that's what it was. I guess he just couldn't come out and say that, yo, fuck the patch. Something happened with my hair. He was like, let me go ahead and look good and shave it off and put this fake wig.
We will see if that's true. Why I didn't believe that, Miguel, is because the hair looked so good. He looked so much like the Miller that I'm used to seeing. I was like, no, the guy's bald and has just been wearing this for, as long as I known him. And this time the glue didn't work and it fucking got peeled back. There was no difference. You know what I mean? I can see if they said, oh, yeah, look at Miller from 2 years ago to now. Yeah, last night he did have a different, or even a month, not in the years, months. I didn't see any difference. It looked like the same Millers. I was like, he's lying. That boy bald. But he looked fine. I don't know. Yeah, you can see that it's a lot lighter, but you're probably right. If it did burn, it's growing back patchy like that. But I thought it looked fine. Yeah, that was crazy that he did that. Silly man.
No kidding. I had only seen previously what I think Paulie Malignaggi had to get his haircut because he had it in some weird ass hairstyle. Yeah. And then another woman boxer, I forget her name. Yeah, what's her name? She was
Deshawn.
Deshawn
something.
DeJean or something.
DeJean, yeah.
Homegirl, yeah. When that shit. And that one was crazy too, because her corner was like, yo, fuck the hair. They're trying to take it off. And she's like, hold on, no. And like, dude, it's either the belt or the hair, homie. One of the two. She's like, fuck. So let's let bitch off.
Hey, she got her fight with Clarissa, though, so they were right. Yeah,
right.
She made it to the top.
And thank you for bringing up the word cocktail, because before we move on, I want to bring something in here. If you guys watched the fight last night on DAZN, one of the major sponsors that was on the ring, the canvas, was Drip, which at first glance looks like the Bic logo, like the shaves or the shave. What's it called? The razors. And I was like, what the fuck? But no, it's apparently it's a drink. Well, they were handing those bitches out like condoms at high school. So your boy here got one. Drip. I don't know what the fuck this tastes like, but I'm about to open the shit right on the show and taste it right now to see what the fuck it is. But apparently it's some sort of like water. I don't know if it's like some sort of like spritzer water or something. I mean, what I call it? Like mineral water? Oh, natural spring water. All right. Okay, that's just water in a can, guys. In a fucking can. Drip, guys. Give us a sponsorship on this. They had big old buckets of them. They did run out a few times for it, like the weigh-ins and stuff, but make sure to check out Drip because it's actually on the ring.
The most honest review they'll ever get. Yeah, okay, that was just water.
Yeah, it's like it tastes like the stuff that comes out of my fridge, in a can. But hey, figured I'd throw that one in there because I got it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna drink this tomorrow. Fuck yeah, let's see. They were handing out other stuff too, but that's that one in particular. I don't know. Bring that one on the show.
I don't know if they want that one, Miguel. They want to hear it comes out of it. It tasted like it was right out of the mountains, not right out of your fridge.
It's like the melting glaciers falling through the rocks, naturally filtering before it reaches the river. No, it's the kind of stuff out of my sink. Okay, gotcha. Oh boy. All right. Well, if you guys caught the co-main event of last night's show, we saw a pretty dope ass knockout. Alan Chavez with an S came away with a fantastic highlight reel knockout. If you guys check it out, it was a left hook, I believe it was in the third or fourth round, and basically knocked his opponent out. Miguel, I forgot the last name. It's like Maduño or something like that. I forgot the last name, but anyway, it was quite the spectacular knockout. they made a big deal about it because his opponent had I believe went the distance with Keyshawn Davis and a couple of other opponents that kind of made him look formidable. But over the last couple of years, his opponent was kind of in and out of the ring. It seemed like he just didn't have like the hunger anymore. So he was kind of making a little bit of a comeback, even though he was still I think 27. So he's still very young. But ultimately, it didn't matter to shit because Alan Chavez landed that fucking left hook, and boy, what a knockout it was. I I was hoping the fight would go a little bit longer, right? I wasn't ready for the main event to start so fucking quickly, but I guess Chavez, as often the case with these fighters, they don't get paid by the hour, so they go in there and if they get the job done, they'll get it done early. And afterwards, he got very emotional, saying like he's thinking about his family, and he's an Argentinian fighter. What a performance! 135 pounder. All right, lightweight certainly puts him right in the mix with everybody else. I mean, that what a performance! And he's in the right spot, right? The zone basically. We had talked about the rumors of possibly BBC coming over, so whatever lightweights they might have, it's going to be definitely a lot easier to make these kinds of fights. And I assume there's going to be some fighters that are going to probably avoid him, but very, very great performance by Alan Chavez. Andrew, what'd you think of that knockout?
Excellent performance. I agree with you. We've seen some great knockouts by younger fighters. We had Moses, the heavyweight, do the step back uppercut not too long ago. It was an excellent knockout. He's probably going to be on knockout of the year candidate. And then last night with Chavez, and another new up and comer step back left hook. Just a beautiful time punch. And what was disgusting about it is the opponent did everything right. His hand was home. He just leaves the very tip of his chin on the outside. Bam, gone. Clean as a whistle, man. Fucking just takes him right out. But when they look at the tape, I can't see where the key. I mean, the young man, what he did wrong is he left the tip of his chin hanging out. That's what he did wrong, right? If you want to nitpick. But, I mean, his hand was home. That punch shouldn't have done that. The power is real. He knocks him out cold. Why the ref counted to whatever he did was not needed.
Yes.
Was it to 8?
Harvey Dog. The referee Harvey Dog counted. Like he landed when he picked up the count from the one on the outside. It was like at 6. I mean, not 6. I'm sorry, at 4. And he's like 5, 6. Like, yo, the dude probably needs some medical attention right now. I don't think you can afford to waste 30. I mean, 3 or 4 more seconds for you to officially count the motherfucker out. Like, I'm happy at least he stopped at 8 and called it off. But when he kept counting, I was like, are you really gonna go to 10, fool? Like, are you seriously gonna go to 10 here?
Yeah, I think after 5, he should have realized that man needed help. Yeah, he was asleep. His head bounced off the canvas, I think 2 or 3 times. It was a basketball at that, or a ball at that point. So yeah, devastating knockout. Great win for Chavez. So yeah, and definitely what you're saying about DAZN, Miguel, I can't see how any of these fights can't get made right now. We don't know what the what we need to find out is what the pay, what their budget is, right? So let's say DAZN's giving all these companies a certain budget to put on fights on their own, but what happens when these guys cross promote and want to put on a fight reaching across the table? Does DAZN pick up the pot, right? When they unify, or when you get a Devin Haney versus, or who's they want Connor versus Ryan, right?
Yeah.
That's going to Netflix. You guys know what I'm saying. When it's a DAZN fight, right, that it's going to stay home, how are they going to work this pay scale out? Because DAZN there's not a lot in the budget like Netflix, right? They don't have, they talk about them having this worldwide, I want to say it's in the 70 millions. I want to say DAZN says they can get reached to. So it's a significant number. It's not Netflix. But you think it'd bring a good penny if they're actually going viral and getting into 10 million plus homes, right? You think DAZN would then have to give them extra money of some sort. I just wonder what that is. That is really going to determine how many times these companies really want to risk their fighters. Because if DAZN isn't picking up the pot that much, sorry, I'm waiting for Netflix.
Yeah. No, it's totally understandable. I mean, they're doing this Zurdo and Benavides. I mean, I guess that's sort of DAZN. I mean, is it even because PBC and DAZN have done this before with Gervonta and Ryan, where you can order the pay-per-view on DAZN or order the pay-per-view with PBC and get their feed or their commentators. I'm not sure how they did that one with Benavides and Ramirez.
So that's how they're going to do it. So basically the pay-per-view model is not leaving the zone. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're according to their ultimate plan or whatever, right? I mean, technically you're still fucking paying for it, but that would be the same for any subscription, I suppose. But I don't know beyond that because I mean, I can't imagine that people. The point obviously is to get them to sign up for subscriptions, right, to watch these fights. But if you have to sign up for the basic subscription and still pay for the pay-per-view, then that kind of isn't really an incentive to go in all in on the channel or the streaming service. So I have to assume they're going to leave the option for people who don't want to, sign up for the zone subscription and still pay pay-per-view price type things as they're doing with this one. So I have to imagine that's the plan. There's still going to be the option for the pay-per-view. Of course there is.
Yeah, I think you're totally right on that. That sounds like it makes sense. Is they have two ways of tracking who's watching a fight. The guys that are paying the $500 or so, whatever that big fee is, that's going to be tracked one way. They do so many millions, they'll be getting raises on that. And then on pay-per-view, the pay-per-view side, that stays the same, right? As many pay-per-views you get, you guys get this percentage out of the total amount coming back. So that all makes sense. So then, yes, these fights can get made. The question is how many fans are going to be buying these pay-per-views. That's something that we're going to have to find out here too. Because even if you're going across the table and getting the fights that people want to see, I guess we have to see it work in 2026 before we could say it's a good model, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to have to see Top Rank and PBC come together and do 1 million buys like they did what is it now, 3 years ago? 3 years ago is the last big pay-per-view sale. So it's still a little questionable if it works in 26.
Yeah, it's almost they're not doing away with pay-per-view altogether, obviously, but it almost seems like they're trying to what's the word? Double dip, I guess. It's like, all right, let's not get rid of pay-per-view. Let's still do it, but let's also do the subscription based over here. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of both and see if this benefits us and this yields any like positive results. Otherwise, if not, then maybe we will completely ditch pay-per-view. But I can't imagine they're gonna do that ever. There's no way that everybody who wants to watch this fight is okay with signing up to that subscription, unless there is no fucking choice at all, which I don't think they'd fork up the cash anyway at that point. At that point, it'd be like, no, fuck it, then I'm not watching it. Then I'll have to stream it. I can't imagine that would be the case. So they're going to leave that option of the pay-per-view definitely there for them. But it just seems like they're trying both sides. They're going to try to see how it goes both ways, to see who signs up for that $500 ultimate whatever, and then pay-per-view alone.
Well, yeah, because they're double dipping, right? So it's really not a bad plan because your diehards are going to buy this subscription no matter what. They want boxing, they want every fight. They're in. So you're just really double dipping on the guys. You know, I remember people subscribing to it, watching the fight, then going, "Oh, I'm not even going to pay. I'm going to drop my subscription or whatever." So they were like double dipping right there because they got them for a month or whatever that they did buy it to get the darn fight, paid for the fight, and then ended up dropping. So, yeah, that's it. It's just like extra money on the casuals that DAZN's actually making. They already have the diehards. So, yeah, we'll see how it works. I'm a little bit still suspect on DAZN's numbers here in America. Like, I get it that they have 70 million globally, but we know where the market is big at. It's in America. That's where you have to succeed to make a serious profit on these fights, right? And so that's where DAZN, I think, makes me a little bit nervous, is that they never brag about their numbers that they're pushing in America.
Right, and it's funny because the one fight, or the most recent fight with Fury and Makhmudov that was on Netflix, they immediately said it. They're like, "Yep, 5 million or whatever the fuck it was." Right off the bat. When it's a success, you know damn well they're going to throw those numbers out there. When it isn't, generally speaking, they're pretty quiet about it.
Or they say the global ones.
Oh,
You'll
I see.
hear
I see.
you'll hear them doing that global shit. Or the impressions, on our DAZN website, Twitter account, Instagram account, we had so many people go through it last night or click on it last night.
Yeah.
They'll do some shit like that, but they won't give us the numbers of in America we did 20 million homes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I guess we'll see how it works with this Ramirez and Benavidez fight. Word is tickets aren't selling all that great, so much so that they might be closing or not opening like the top section of the arena at all. So any ticket you buy will get be a good seat. Go ahead.
I think Benavidez really fucked up putting himself as the Jaguar in that one Aztec photo. He doesn't even. You haven't seen the Aztec Warrior one?
No.
Oh, they got an Aztec Warrior picture going around of them too right now. Zuro's like the eagle, I think. And,
I might have seen it. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's the Jaguar, but he just looks like a dork, bro. He look. Benavidez does not look like he belongs in an Aztec dress up situation, but whatever.
Let me see if I can find it because I'm almost certain. I know what you're talking about.
I think I sent it to you.
Oh, did you? Oh shit. Okay, never
mind. It's still funny, but I'm telling you, like, so there's gonna be a handful of Mexicans that think that looks phony as shit, and I agree, it kind of does. I think they would do better, man. And I'm not trying to make it a race war, but I think it would have been better if they did the Mexican American versus the Mexican thing, right? Like. Mm-hmm. There's a fun rivalry there. Why does it have to be all, fucking stab someone in the parking lot if your guy loses kind of situation, right? It's just it is what it is. So I'd rather them went that route than trying to make this about like a Mexican versus a Mexican, because one's obviously half and he's from America. So there's a lot of BS going on there. But whatever, as we get closer, maybe the thing gets hotter. But yeah, I'm looking at the views or the likes. I'm not seeing a lot of it's not doing what a Barrera Morales one would have done on social media. Right.
And that's what they're hoping for. I mean, even the commercials or the announcements, whenever they're advertising it, the commentator at DAZN last night is like, the first time a Mexican versus a Mexican are above 168 pounds or whatever. It's like, yo, he's from Arizona, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're really pushing that shit hard. Right. I know maybe Zurdo isn't that kind of fighter, but that would have been such a easy, like, I guess easy ammo. Like, yo, why they call you the Mexican monster? You're not even really Mexican food. Like, you're from Arizona. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And then Benavidez will definitely snap back at that, right? Be like, motherfucker, I'm going to show you how fucking Mexican I am in the ring. And that's such an easy thing there. Easy, lightning.
Right. Right. And I mean, seriously, if you think about it, Chavez versus De La Hoya, imagine that on social media. How many likes, how many shares do you think that one would have had? And the other one was oh man,
Juan Diaz and Marquez.
No, I had a bigger fight. Gosh darn it, I can't believe it left me that fast. I swear to God, Miguel, sometimes my memory, dude, literally thought of another fight, and then my first one just goes, well, fuck you then. I'm out of here.
Well, it happens.
Chavez De La Hoya.
Right. Throw that bigger one then in there. Damn, I don't know. I'm trying to think of which one. I thought they were going to go with that one with Marquez and Juan Diaz, because they did pull that shit off, or at least Marquez threw that on a few times.
No, that was a good. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. But yeah, the fights were a lot bigger. This one I'm not seeing. They're like in the, I'm gonna say not even 2,000 hits that I've seen on a lot of their promo videos. They're just not getting a lot of traction. I thought there'd be way more on the Mexican side. Like I said, to me, this is a test. This is a big test for us. I'm hoping this thing's successful, Miguel. Like, I know ticket sales are down, but I hope it's one of those things when the fight night comes, we're like, I don't know, it looked packed, one of those kind of things. And then just the overall pay-per-view, because we don't have that many other these are like two of the best fighters we have, right? So if these
Mhm.
guys aren't selling the ticket, like, fuck, are you serious? We only got Canelo. Canelo's like, ha ha ha, bitches.
Right.
Maybe I'm retiring.
Right. That's why I can demand 30 million motherfuckers for a fight.
Right.
I can demand this shit. Viva Mexico, cabrones. My cocktail. All right. All right. Well, anything else you want to add to that as far as like the DAZN card yesterday before we move on to the next topic?
I can't wait until Saturday, but yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Oh, I thought you were gonna say I can't wait till my gut takes another swig of his drink, because I thought I naturally, what else were you gonna say? Like, I can't wait for you to drink that shit again.
I wonder if it's the metal can that makes it taste like it's from your fridge. It's all the metal pipes.
It's a real possibility, right? It's like, oh, this is like the aluminum hoses that come through through my water filter in my fridge. It very well be that. I don't know. I mean, this is just canned water, guys. I mean, I hate to,
saying it like
I hate to kick them when they're already down and beat a dead horse with it, but it's like, can you at least add some? I don't know. Maybe they do have some flavors. I don't know, but this one certainly isn't. Just saying. All right. So, we've talked about Miller here because we threw his name in as a possible AJ opponent that Eddie Hearn wouldn't want to go down that route. Well, it looks like AJ is not looking at Miller for shit as far as being a tune-up fight before Tyson Fury, and rightfully so. I guess that's not a bad way to go about it. I looked online here, and this is what I'm showing. It looks like Anthony Joshua is targeting the 25th of July, which unironically later on in the show that particular date will show up once more. But 25th of July later this summer in Saudi Arabia. So it looks like clearly he thinks everything is okay over there enough to go down there and host a fight. And from what I'm seeing, let me go ahead and pull this up here. This is what Boxing King Media has posted. Anthony Joshua's next opponent will be criticized. Eddie Hearn confirmed AJ won't face Jarrell Miller next. Instead, a July warm-up fight is planned, with Hearn admitting Usyk was involved in the decision on the next opponent. I'm not sure what exactly that means. Usyk was involved in the decision on the opponent's level. So I guess I should have finished reading that. On the opponent level. So I don't understand why Usyk was in this decision making to any degree. But according to what they're saying here, he said, yeah, I'm going to decide what level fucking dude you fight here, is to make sure that you beat him. I suppose. I'm not quite sure, again, why that matters or why his opinion was thrown in there to any fucking degree. But anyway, it's obvious that AJ is going to go with somebody who is, for lack of a better term, an easier opponent to ensure a victory and to ensure that he looks like $1 million going into the fight with Tyson Fury later on in November, I think is the date they said. But all right. It looks like it won't be Wilder. It looks like it won't be Miller. I'm not sure they're going to go with who they're going to go with. I mean, damn, I don't even think they'll go with an Andy Ruiz. So right now, maybe not even a Joe Joyce, even really at this point, right? No. I mean, I'm not sure who would it be. I mean, they're going to have to find some obscure motherfucker to come out of retirement. I don't know. But it looks like he's going to be, or according to this, it appears as though his next opponent is going to be, he will be criticized for the specific opponent that he chooses.
Might as well have been the kickboxer,
Right.
Rocky Balboa at this point. I mean, or a guy like him, like the same figure they made the Rocky movie. Go look for someone local. Some bare knuckle champion or some shit, Obviously they're staying away from all real fights. The Usyk thing is a real weird angle. I don't know why Eddie Hearn's reporting that. I don't know Usyk's contract situation, but is Eddie really trying to grease the wheels on Usyk, like, oh yeah, give me your thoughts. Yeah, come in here, sit down in my office. Let's talk about
be part of the decision-making process. Why not?
Yeah.
You beat my guy twice, so I guess I owe you that. I don't know.
And who are you gonna go with for your next fight?
Right.
AJ's like, what are we doing here? Are we talking about me? Or are you trying to work a contract with this guy? Like, what the fuck? Like, when it just seems weird that he made Usyk a part of the decision in AJ's career, without it being about Usyk himself and Eddie Hearn trying to get closer to him. I don't mind it. I just want it to be over with. I think you've heard me say that a lot this year, which I didn't think we were going to be saying, right?
Right. I'm keeping track of the fights this year so far on my calendar, and yes, there has been a couple of times where you're just like, can we just get this over this hump already? Yeah.
And that's what this is going to be. It's going to be your, the young man that Otis, it's not him.
Valine. Yeah, it's
Valine.
not him.
It's not him, but it's going to be someone of that magnitude, just out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, who's this guy? 6 foot something. Will probably have a decent record, but we'll never heard of him before. You know what I mean? So let's get over with. We all know what it's going to be. Let's just do it. I wish it was something juicy like Ngannou. That was juicy. I wish they could do the Ngannou fight over again for AJ, right? Give him somebody with the name that's going to get him viral. He can knock him out, and then we go right into Tyson. So we're not going to get that same reaction by him knocking out someone like, what's his name?
Valine, Otto Valine, yeah.
Otto Valine. We're not going to get that one out for that fight, but that's the fight we're going to get. So can we just get it fucking over with?
Right. And I'm going to have to answer that question for you right now, Andrew. No, we can't get it over with because we still have to wait till July for this shit. It's still July 25th is the date that they're thinking. So we're still several months from that. And then, of course, several months after that, even November, before we get to the AJ and Fury fight that is planned for later.
I'm surprised they're even talking about the opponent so early. They're not going to solidify this fight until we get closer to that date.
Oh yeah. I mean, they haven't. We're talking about the opponent, but not the actual person himself because we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. Hey, they're not going to want to give him no 8 weeks of training. Fuck no. Hey, AJ's training right now.
Yeah, AJ knows who it's going to be. That other guy doesn't know it's him yet. It's kind of one of those type of things.
The guy they're blessing is maybe going to get 6 to 5 weeks. That's about it. Fuck out of here.
When he gets the phone call, he's going to be like half into a Philly cheesesteak, like, oh shit, what? It's me? Oh fuck, put this shit down. Let me go jog a couple of miles. Yeah, I can imagine. I was even looking at some of like the names on the top 10, like through BoxRec. Number 10 is Michael Hunter. I haven't heard him in a while. American dude. Okay, he's not bad. Throw him in there. Why not? I mean, I don't think he's that much of a threat. He's a good fighter, but he's been kind of obscure. His name hasn't been surfaced as much. So why not somebody like that?
Yeah, someone like that. He's American. They can probably sell a good ticket over there in the UK. Yeah, it's going to be someone lower in the rankings, and you would like them to have somewhat of a name. So they can make this a big fight over there. It's going to be a showcase to the Tyson Fury thing. Hopefully they didn't overplay their hand here, and no one shows up because they already know the Fury thing is going to happen. They're impossible of doing that because and then the fan base, they already seen Fury and AJ in the ring, and the fireworks really didn't go off, right? So now you're kind of asking the fans to do it again, and we promise you this time Fury will get in the ring. They're going to be like, nah, fucking, we'll see you guys in a few months. We already know what's happening.
Yeah, right. It's like, and by the way, it's in Saudi Arabia. That's the plan that they're trying to.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah.
It's like on top of everything else, who's going to fucking fly over there? Like, yo, y'all better fucking show up to this tune-up fight against a fucking no-namer.
Nobody.
But it's going to be AJ in the ring, so you got to pay for that shit.
Nah, no one's showing up. Nope. And it has nothing to do with the war. They wouldn't have showed up even if there was no war. All the reasons we just said, Miguel. The fans know the fight.
That's a pretty big reason. The war is like, oh, just a cherry on top. Yeah, let me not go.
Oh yeah, that's a cherry on top. But I'm saying with the fans already knowing that the Fury fight is definitely happening, all AJ has to do is win, and the thing's locked. Why the hell would I spend my money to go to Saudi Arabia now? Ain't I gonna save that $5,000, $2,000, whatever the trip might be to try to go to Fury versus Joshua?
Yeah, exactly. Why am I going to fork up anywhere near as much of that cash to fly down there to watch him knock another dude out for what 3 rounds in 3 months?
It's actually a bad idea. You want to put Fury in an 80,000. I mean, excuse me. You want to put AJ in an 80,000 seat venue in the UK. Have him knock out his guy. Have Fury there. Make this thing hot. Tickets are going to stay cheap because the opponent shouldn't be that expensive. Tickets stay cheap. Fury's there. We set the stage. Then their fight goes to Riyadh, right? You try to get all the rich from the UK to go over to Riyadh and purchase those tickets. They're doing this wrong, and I can say this, Dana, because motherfuckers in the red a lot. So back up.
Right.
I'm just it's not too many other times that Turkey hasn't been in the red. This fight's definitely going to be in the red, and they're doing this backwards. They're absolutely doing it backwards. Fury versus AJ, if on the right stage, is going to draw the fans to Riyadh because Miguel, we have to think the Prince is going to be basically fucking guaranteeing that him and Iran have already set a deal, ceasefire. There will be no missiles coming over, even though we got to talk about what happened this weekend at the White House, the dinner. Miguel, that could throw this whole June thing out the window. It really can.
The White House card or the UFC card is what you're talking about?
Of course, bro.
But dude, it looked staged as fuck.
Well, that's why I think they did it. Look, his numbers might be low.
So staged as fuck to not have that, because we talked about it before, where like it's probably a bad idea to just publicly announce where a lot of very important American politicians and everything are going to be at once, right? Which is going to be at the
UFC. Talk about it. I don't want to throw off what you're doing, but add that to the show, dude.
Okay.
We should go back to that at some point because I think that it was pretty big what happened there. So Riyadh has to have some kind of guarantee. They wouldn't be putting on Canelo and AJ unless the is he the king now? I keep calling the guy the prince. If he's the fucking he should be the king now, right?
I mean, we might as well call him the king, but I guess in hierarchy, maybe he's still technically is if his pops is around, I suppose.
Oh yeah, maybe his dad's just retired. Yeah, maybe that's what's going on. His dad just didn't want to be the king anymore, but he's still alive. Yeah. That could be it. Yeah, maybe we should look up these sort of things. Sorry, you guys, as we learn as we do this.
We don't know how it works over there. Shit's kind of different. I
try to pronounce words on the show. Try to look at a world map. Where is that place actually at? Sorry, you guys.
Right. It's like, is it next to Philadelphia? Like, no. It's like the other side of that ocean. Like, like Jersey? Like, no, never mind. Enough of that. We'll try that out here.
Drew knows boxing. I never lied.
No kidding. That's why his hashtag is, that's why his handle is that. It's not Drew knows geography, because that's definitely not. I myself need a map and a globe every so often because I'm like, oh shit, where is Kazakhstan? Fuck if I know where the fuck Kazakhstan is. Gotta look it up. But yeah, July, AJ against an unnamed opponent that probably will remain unnamed for several more weeks to go. And then July 25th in Saudi Arabia, it looks like they're going ahead with that one. Hopefully that brings in some numbers. I mean, I assume it's going to be on DAZN and it's not going to be some sort of, pay-per-view type thing. It's going to be one of those regular DAZN events. I anticipate at least. So, all right, we'll see how it goes and we'll find out. I mean, as soon as, we find out, we're going to be talking about it. And probably, as this post says, criticizing the living shit out of the opponent, but it's understandable to some degree because we're so close. We are so close to AJ and Fury, and for I don't know how many times we've tried this already, but we're so close. We might as well not fuck it up now, please. Let's make sure we don't fuck it up now. All right. Well, I don't know, Andrew, you want me to just toss on the next topic here, or you want to just go into what we're going to talk about with this weekend happening at the White House dinner?
Oh, it's up to you, bro.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it then. We're already here. Because the next one kind of sort of has to do with Zuffa because it's Devin Haney, but that can wait. All right. So if you guys know, if you guys haven't, I'm sure it's gone viral at this point, but there was how to call it? I mean, a mass shooter, not even a real mass shooter, right? Thankfully, nobody got ended what somebody snuck in with a gun to this White House dinner and barged in. Quite frankly, I shouldn't even said walked in because, or I shouldn't have said snuck in, because if you look at the video, home dude came out blasting right off the bat, just blah 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 blah, right, and got through security, and people, got it was chaos for a little bit as they were the Secret Service was trying to regain control. Was the dude apprehended, or was he killed? Or I mean, I know he was shot.
There's
I don't
two
know.
stories.
Oh,
There's
okay.
two stories, bro. One, they're like, oh, it's weird how Secret Service missed them or took them in alive. And then I just seen about 20 minutes ago, right before the show, that he's dead. So I don't, Miguel, it looked like they were shooting back in the video when he
Yes.
runs by. I can't see how everyone missed. I look like, are they shooting blanks? Because these men, they hit from like football fields away with those pistols, dude. When they practice, bro, they practice with those pistols. The rifles are something else, but even their sidearms, these guys can hit you from 100 yards away easy. Put it this way, you hear pop, pop. That's how fucking far they're away with those guns shooting with the handgun. So you'd think the young man running 10 feet in front of them is fucking Swiss cheese when you got 7 Secret Service members gunning down on you. Yeah. So I think he's out of here. I think he got checked out, but there are 2 reports right now on the internet, and I'm a lazy journalist. I won't go look it up. If you keep talking, I'll try to find the answer if he's here or not.
And I was watching the clip of the security video, and there was this strange, and I mean, I don't know. Again, it's not like it's a secret. I'm not a Secret Service agent, so fucking find out how this works. But when the guy ran between them, the secret agents were like shooting, and they kept shooting as he ran through between them, and they were basically like shooting at each other. It looked like they were just like blah 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 blah, right? And then on the other side of that hallway was other Secret Service members, and it almost looked like the guns were turned at each other because the guy was running between them. I don't know what you would do in that particular case. I guess you have no choice, but obviously there's a danger of shooting your own guy because the dude ran between them, but nobody got clipped. There hasn't been I guess a claim that president got hit in the cheekbone or the ear again or whatever the fuck, right? We don't know. I haven't heard anything of that yet, but it's starting to look bad because right like after, or not say right after, I don't remember when this was released, but I pulled it up on like my Twitter account or something. But now President Trump is saying, oh, you see, this is he talked about how unsafe that particular ballroom was, et cetera, and it's almost making a claim, or making a case for building that fucking bunker or whatever it is he was trying to build in the White House that things kind of halted to. So now it's starting to look like, oh, really? This is why this happened then? So you can have an excuse to build that fucking bunker. I don't know. It looked bad. If you see clips, you see Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, crying like fucking hell. I just want to go home. And then you see Dana White saying like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Like completely opposite reactions, right? There's videos of people grabbing alcohol, bottles of champagne, literally taking selfies of themselves while they're there. There's a clip of a news reporter or somebody who was there calling into a news station, and then the call gets cut off. It's like at this point you don't know what the fuck to believe. But when you see a picture of President Trump off to like the corner behind a curtain, not even really hiding, just kind of there waiting for this shit to end, it makes you ask a lot of fucking questions.
Well, the party was over, right? Look, the shooter never gets in the building. He didn't get through the front doors. He got through. He's in security's area where he got arrested. It looks like he's alive. I don't see anything on which, Google's doing a good job of not putting out information. They're just giving you kind of like titles, but they won't. AI answers fucking everything, but they won't answer this one, Miguel.
Yeah.
There's no AI answer for this one. Just like, oh, no, just a shooting. Whatever. Anyways, so the guy never gets into the building, and that's why you have a lot of confusion inside. You have Dana like, look at you guys. Dana, to me, He looks like the lawyer on Jurassic Park 1, bro. You know, while the T-Rex is like coming through, and he's like, everything's good, everyone just chill. Bro, he doesn't need this. He really don't. Do you know what the price on security just did after this night?
Mhm.
Do you know how many Secret Service people are going to be telling Donald Trump no to the stupid fucking cage match that you want to do on the lawn? Is it worth it when risk fits reward? Does this really fit the reward? This risk fit the reward of doing this MMA show? All that came into play. I don't think that was the reason this happened. Look, they're saying numbers are low. Fucking scientists are disappearing and dying. Like, I really hate the fact that dude made it through that many bullets. I've watched a lot of fucking war movies, cop movies, documentaries. Like, I've seen him in action. He gets through a lot of bullets. He's not even hit. He's not even hit.
He has to have been hit, right? Eventually they hit him. I mean, maybe he's not end, but
I don't see anything about him going to the hospital.
Fuck out of here. I could. Oh, damn. I'm gonna double check because me and my buddies were talking about it. But yeah, I guess.
The target was hit 17 times, but somehow managed to be alive today. Like, you think that would be reported? You know what I mean?
We're gonna nickname him Tupac because he was shot 5 times and he survived until he didn't. But
he runs right past everyone. You see, everyone's like that. That's what it looks like on the video. Like he's being shot at as he's running. Whatever. You hear the video.
But I was talking about this earlier, how like what do you do in that situation? Again, I'm not a Secret Service, obviously, but the dude runs between them because it's down a hallway and there's secret security on the other side, and then there's a secret security on the side, and they're like, and they're like kind of facing each other for a few seconds. You know, the fucking secret security dude's blasting there. Like, what? They didn't accidentally shoot each other?
I think the possibility is there, but these guys are trained to hit their target, even a moving target, because in their training they have moving targets. I think you're assed out, bro. They're gonna hit you, and they're gonna pray that one of their bullets don't go stray. But it's very hard if you know how to control your pistol. That bullet's only gonna go where you aim, right? So these guys are trained. They're supposed to be the best. I don't like that he made it through hella bullets last night. Something fishy about that. There really is. He seemed a little bit too close to tell me this dude didn't have 4 or 5 holes in him. You know, I could see staging something, but you got to take one for the team, even in the stage, bro.
Hey, at least, like, you know, wear one of those like fake, like at whatever they use in the movies to make it look like clack. At least, something like that. At least, you know, make it look like you got hit and you're like limping and bleeding or some shit. Right. Not just be like, all right, I give up. You know, like it's not how it fucking works. But yeah, and then you know, with President saying, this is why we need that ballroom bunker that he wants to fucking build. That it's like, yo, tell me that's not the reason why we did this shit. But it definitely makes that UFC card. I don't know. I mean,
it's in jeopardy today. I think today it's in jeopardy. Yeah, this is the thing we absolutely said they did not need, bro. They really don't. They don't need any type. And this guy got a gun there. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And then there's talks that he, like the shooter on Kirk, maybe put the gun together on site. So is there a bigger thing going on? Who planted the gun? How did he get there first, right? To get this gun in the building and then put it. Questions. Do we really want the stupid cage match going on right now? Like, I just see all the Secret Service going, sir, Mr. President, like, you're putting us all in a lot of danger here. You know what I mean? You're ruining a lot of lives if you get hurt because you and Dana came up with this idea on the ring side at another UFC fight. Oh, don't you think it would be cool? You know, that's how this got started.
Yes,
one
of course.
Of course, right?
I mean, it was one of those conversations. They were probably drunk or high or something, and it's like, because I mean, they had the idea of doing this, and then at some point, I don't remember if the date changed because it happens to be like Oh, I wouldn't say happens to be, but I think that's President Trump's birthday. So
Birthday, yeah,
it's
I
like
heard
I
that.
think I want, if I remember correctly, and by all means, if you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had scheduled it for a different date, and then they're like, no, and then he thought it was a great idea, like, no, let's do it on my birthday. Like, sure thing, homie. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it, and then make sure everybody knows about it.
Yeah, it was
So
supposed to be the fight, the birthday, freedom of birthday, or it
July
was some
4th,
freedom. Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
right?
It
Yeah.
was supposed to be on July 4th, and then they moved it to the president's birthday, and still try to call it the same thing. Or now it's a fight for the globe. They try to change it to something else. But either way, I think it took a major hit. I don't know, man. It wasn't scary as far as, yes, you seen Dana just chilling, cracking jokes. Um, Kirk's wife, what's her first name?
Erica.
Erica, excuse me. Erica Kirk was scared. The first lady looked nervous. I did like how Trump still covered her, though. He's a badass old dude, eh? He's still a badass. Hey, he was like, "Hold on, get off my wife. I'll cover my wife."
Well, I mean, if it was staged, I'm sure he wouldn't have had any problems. I mean, like, I mean,
He got
fake
shot in
fake
the
courage.
hand and lifted his arm.
If he
Come
what?
on. He got shot in the head last time and lifted his hand, said,
Well,
"Fight back."
that I mean, that one he took one for the team. That one. This time,
States too. Oh,
this time I was like, yo, this dude. I mean, you can see videos. I mean, clips of him, just off the fucking stage, just kind of like,
Miguel, they never got in the building. I'm sure.
I know, but still,
no, because when you hear the pop, 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 it doesn't sound that big. It doesn't. That's why a lot of the party goers, they don't start moving until Secret Service come through the door. You got fucking SWAT teams coming on the stage with rifles. When you see the rifles come out, yeah, something happened. Something's happening. Now you're getting panic. In the beginning, it was pop, pop, pop. You didn't.
But they don't know who else is in on it. They don't know who else is there. They hear the pop off in the distance. They know it's danger. I mean, for all they fucking know, it's like, oh, this is a decoy. That son of a bitch is actually right in front of you, and now you're really fucked. So it's just like they hear the pop. Usher that son of a bitch out of there ASAP. Go into some wherever the hell room or something. But the fact, it almost just seemed like, all right, just hold off on the fucking side of the stage here. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that part. I only see them take him off. I didn't know that he hung out behind in the back of the stage.
I'll send you like a picture. So the picture itself, it looks they kind of like zoom in and they like circle on him. It's like home dude is just right there. Whether it's actually him or not, I don't know, because it does look like a blurry picture. But I wanted to bring something up that you mentioned about security. Somebody brought this up here, and I don't know if I can show it here because it's kind of hard with my screen. But it says this was the only thing required for entry into the Washington Hilton ballroom. There was no security screening prior to entering the lobby, and it's like a slip, like an invitation. Like that's all. It's kind of hard to see there, but anyway, that's kind of all that it was. And then somebody was asking about like, damn, that's kind of crazy how lax the security was compared to other events. But yeah, that seeing stuff like that, it raises an eyebrow, right? More than
Trust me, it won't be that laxed anymore. And if I'm Dana, who has been on record many times saying that they were eating the whole bill on that July card. I think that bill just got 10 times more expensive. They're going to be asking for way more Secret Service. They're going to be asking for metal detectors. I think the blocking of the roads just went back another 2 blocks. Like, no, bro, we don't need this bullshit. That was some bullshit that's going on. Even staged, not staged. If he was just a loony, like, and just ran in there, it's the shit that we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really worth it? So, most of the time, Miguel, if you watch the president, he's doing a lot of his sports event show appearances on the fly. And I think they do that because they don't want people being able to plan a fucking thing. In this situation with the UFC, how long have we given the enemy time to plan out something?
Yeah, plenty of time.
Right? They could be looking at tunnels under the ground. Like, they could be looking at every fucking way.
Yeah, buildings off in the distance. Yes. Yeah, how far can I go? Yeah, oh yeah.
So it just seems like it's not a great time right now to doing it. Now, maybe if we weren't in a war and we had a lot more, just a lot more peace out there in the world. Then you can do a show like this, but we don't even have peace within our two parties still,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which I just want to throw this in there, and I'll bring it up later. But it seemed like we had peace when they all agreed to fucking pass that damn Ali Act bill. Everybody seemed to agree on that one real fast. That shit was so fucking quick.
Well,
It's like,
they said only 3 people showed up, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like, and now magically they're all on the same page. It's like, oh, really? You can agree on something like this, huh?
And they all might have been donor
Oh yeah,
yeah of DKO. So
oh yeah. At least Cruz was for sure. I mean, I want to say Luke Thomas mentioned that, so I think that did actually happen.
So,
oh boy, which we'll talk about in a little bit because I have Oscar on the docket here. All right, so and continuing with the Zuffa information, there is a rumor going around, a lot of rumors actually, that Zuffa Boxing's next signee is none other than the former American Dream, Devin Haney. All right, current WBO welterweight champion Devin Haney. There are people who have been asked about this in the boxing circle, have basically said that it seems on par with how Devin and Bill do business. They've been signed, with Matchroom. They've done Top Rank, or specifically talking about Devin, and it's almost like a few fights here, a few fights there. It seems like it's right up their alley, and now they're going to do the same thing with Zuffa. It seems like they're going to give Zuffa a try. Now, whether or not they'll be able to get out of the fucking contract as easy as they can with anybody else is another story, of course. But it seems as though that's the next step for the Haneys. I'm not sure. I mean, from what I've read and what the videos I've seen online, Eddie Hearn in particular said, yeah, he knows what our number is, referring to Matchroom, like what we're willing to offer him. He knows what that number is, and clearly he's not okay with it. So he's going to go off to Zuffa and see how much more he can get. He says they're going to overpay for him. That makes sense. It looks like that is what Zuffa's MO has been now, at least with, I don't know how much they're going to pay Berlanga, but the rumor was 10 mil. Who the fuck knows if that's true? We don't know how much yet on Hitchens, but we hear the $15 million one fight deal with Conor Benn. I can only imagine that this deal with Haney is going to be up there also. I mean, if he received Haney, I'm saying, got 16 mil for what fight was it? Was it the Brian Norman Jr.? Is that the one that he got that amount of money? So I can't imagine that Haney is going to accept anything less than that. But Andrew, we talked about this a few times, and I kind of want to kick myself in the ass sometimes. I had an opportunity yesterday to ask Eddie, and the question didn't come to me. But it seems, and Eddie Hearn has said this before, we don't Zuffa doesn't have an identity yet. We don't know what Zuffa is yet, quite frankly, right? Is it just a regular promotional company like anybody else? Is it a sanctioning body like the belts? You have brought it up many times. There's basically two fucking Zuffas here, essentially. It's the one that follows the pay scale that we're familiar with and the weight classes that they told us, and then they have the guys with the big bucks that they probably gonna allow to bend the rules. Conor Benn comes in. There's no 154-pound weight class, but he fights at 150. They do a catch weight. They're basically going against what they're saying. It seems as though that duality is how it is in and of itself, Zuffa and their business dealings. So this one seems the signing of Devin is going to be on the big bucks side of Zuffa and not the fucking Meta Apex, no sponsors on the shorts type of thing. So what do we make of this? Number one, we don't know if it's true. Of course, it's just a rumor, but everybody and their mamas are saying it's legit. So it seems as though Devin is going in that direction. I guess it makes sense for Devin to test it out and take some more of Turkey's money.
Yes, that's all this is, Miguel, because Devin Haney is not in the price range of the Zuffa pay structure. So this is not for Dana Zuffa. This is for Turkey Zuffa. Conor Benn when he fought this first fight, Zuffa wasn't even on the ring. Zuffa wasn't on the background.
Not even on his shorts, at least to represent or something.
Because I don't think they want to be a part of these type. Like they're doing exactly what Oscar said. They're borrowing guys to try to make Zuffa look big, but in the big scheme of things, this is not what Dana White got into boxing for, dude. Was to be signing the Devin Haneys and the Connor
Right.
Benns at $16 million per fight.
But what do
So
they still want to have their stamp on it? Like, even though it's not their money, what do they? I mean, it's sort of
no,
like Dana at the Crawford and Canelo. Like, he probably had nothing to fucking do with that, and the dude was there as if it was his show.
No, because I think behind closed doors, then they can tell the opponents that the fighters that they're trying to sign for their actual company. Well, you can see we didn't put our name on the Connor Benn fight, so that was all Turkey's doing, and you're not in Turkey. Didn't want to talk to you. We're trying to talk to you, right? And that's where the fighter has to make the decision. Does he want to go to this Zuffa? And you guys, look, I'm only saying it like this because I haven't seen them make this work yet. Opatai lost his title. He won the Zuffa one. Then Connor Benn comes in, does not fight a Zuffa guy, right? Uh, Regis fucking announces his retirement like the next day or 2 days later, so he's not signed under Zuffa. That fight is like a throwaway fight, so I don't even know what was going on with that one. I honestly think it was a Tyson Fury situation that threw that one off. I think Zuffa was probably going to try to land, and I'm talking Turkey, not Dana, was going to try to land Tyson Fury. I'm just going to stick to that. That it was the Tyson Fury not signing with Turkey is what threw off Connor Benn's opening night with them that day. That's how I'm going to play that one out. I honestly think they were both supposed to be under Zuffa that night. And when Tyson Fury said no, Turkey was like, "Well, you fucking, I'll pay for it, but we're not putting no stamp on this. We'll move on." Um, so look, you guys, I'm not one of them that is saying Haney's signing with it. I have seen nothing that said Haney's signing with this company. To me, Haney has hella more avenues. There's so much money out there for Devin Haney right now. If he's really making 16 million for fighting the Brian Normans of the world, what are you gonna get when you do go your rematch with Ryan Garcia? You know what I'm saying? Like the money just seems so much bigger on this side of the table. I don't see him pigeonholing himself at this point. His dad and them just seem way too smart. Now, if it's a one fight deal, so be it. That's a one fight deal. That's them what you just said, robbing Turkey of some more money. But I don't see his dad going, "Oh yeah, let's go ahead and sign this." What did they say? Berlanga's rumored to have 5 fights. Remember, we were clowning Berlanga on how much they signed, like 5 fights. This guy's got one loss left and he's done. Remember, because I want to say that they said it was 10 million per fight, 5 fights, 50 million a whole. I thought that's what they had said on Berlanga, but I don't see the Haneys doing anything like that. That's not been their avenue at all. Is signing a big contract like that. So if they're offering them a 3 fight deal like the Connor Benn rumored new deal is, well then so be it. That's I could see them doing something like that. But I've got to stay on the fact that until I see these guys fighting for Zuffa's ranking, this is a 2 company business right here. They're just not telling anyone.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it under wraps, and which is kind of on par with the UFC. They tend to keep the shit under wraps. I pulled it up here real quick, and I think this is what AI is saying. While exact term, or for Edgar Berlanga in particular, while exact terms are private, industry chatter suggests high value multi-fights deals, with some reports indicating figures around 15 million per fight for top tier signings. So the number of fights, I guess, isn't clear. I mean, the number isn't either, but according to at least AI, that's the what's being kind of thrown around online, at least, as far as what his fights per fight, I guess, deal is.
And honestly, if I'm the other promoters, I would let these guys go. Who are we talking about right now? Haney.
Berlanga. Oh,
No,
gotcha.
Haney. I would let Haney go. Berlanga's already signed. He's already
Oh, yeah.
overpriced. Dude, if it's 15 million, if it's 10 million, if it's 3 fights, 5 fights, that's all too much for Berlanga. He wouldn't have gotten that anywhere else. So more power to you, and I'll see you on the other side if I'm a promoter, right? And if I'm the guys, because the unknown is so high right now, is if Saudi's actually in or not. You guys, once again, let's not forget, we just reported last week they weren't even in the PowerPoint conference about the future of Saudi Arabia. Boxing was not on their list of investments, you guys. That's got to be a red flag. It's got to be. That's got to be something, writing on the wall. Like next year when we see that they backed out of boxing, we can't go, oh, what a shocking fucking surprise. Mad Boxing now has told you 2 weeks in a row they weren't in the power speech fucking conference the other day about their future in Riyadh. So it is what it is. But if I'm a promoter, I see that, I'm going, you know what? Hey, go sign with them. Go sign with them,
Just
because
bid your time. Just to wait. Like, all right, we'll chill. You go make your money. Cool. We'll be here when you're done. Making all that fucking money, because you ain't gonna make it over here. But by all means, go ahead and do it over there. We'll see you when you're done with that.
and they haven't made it back. They haven't made a profit. The King's gonna get another 15-16 million dollar bill on his desk with no profit in return. So add that 16 mil red flag in with all the other red flags. Like, I'm telling you, I don't see when this thing is gonna start working. I really don't. They're paying too much. Boxing is not a sport where it works like this. We're not the NFL. Right? They're trying so bad, like, oh, if we just sign everyone to this high ass price, we'll definitely take over. Oh, you're gonna take over, but at what cost? And can you dig yourself out of that cost? I can guarantee you're investing in fighters that you will not be able to dig out of their debt. Berlanga being a serious number one prospect for you're not getting out of the debt that you put. Let me give you number two that you brought up last week. The motherfucking light heavyweight situation, that little double fight that he did, he's never going to get out of that debt, bro. He's not. Bivol and Better Beef will never make $30+ million profit for him.
No. And who knows how close to that they would even get.
Yeah. No. So he's got debt that he's not going to get out of. And that's the price that his boss is looking at. Like, yeah, so we're taking over, but bro, I'm fucking up $2 billion in debt. This whole generation isn't making that back, you asshole. So now we got to sign the next generation and then hope that they double their profit. We need a whole bunch of Floyds, Turkey.
Right. We need a whole bunch of Money Mayweathers selling pay-per-views.
Selling pay-per-views to get us out of the debt that you're building to build whatever business that we're building right now. This is not oil, right? It's not like overnight we're going to be selling 12 million barrels or 4 million barrels per fucking week of oil. We're not doing that with boxing. You get like a few fights out of these guys that you're maybe hitting the high money. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is building to that one run. You know what I mean? We'll see. Where's my coffee?
Shit. Damn. You're this hyped and everything without any coffee? Are you fucking serious? You're like,
took a nap. I'm on call, so there is no partying going on. I see. You gotta stay clean.
Very responsible. Yes. I gotcha. All right. Yeah. I knew there was something up when I logged into our call and I could hear you in the background go, yeah. Like, oh shit. All right, somebody's awake. I thought you had already had your coffee by this point, but apparently it was a nap, which is just as good as coffee. Guys, if you guys are craving coffee, go take a nap. I'm sure that'll set you right back up. All right, so continuing with the topic of Zuffa, Oscar De La Hoya has decided to go to social media and tell us how bad the corruption was in that courtroom for the hearing in Washington last week. We kind of knew. It wasn't like it was a shocker. The real shocker is that Oscar went in there so unprepared, having to ask him questions multiple times to get a clean answer. I kind of harped on how bad I thought Nico did, but he did way the fuck better than fucking Oscar. Yes, he went in there and said, "Yo, if if you're gonna go this route with this, then please take my granddaddy's name off of the shit because it's not what the fuck he was fighting for. Um, a lot of points have been made, and again, that in and of itself is an entirely different conversation. But the topic here was Oscar. Oscar goes in completely unprepared, and it looked like he should. Well, I guess for us, he should have known he was walking into, according to him, a buzzsaw. He sensed the corruption in there. He says next week there's going to be some videos. He's going to be releasing probably his clapback Thursday or something like that. If he finds time to do a clapback, because he's going to be busy, right, promoting Ramirez and Brendan Benavides, because he's going to be part of the fucking show. But he says he's gonna, give us some more details or any information additionally that we don't already know. We kind of know that shit was staged. That stupid question of who was the middleweight champ. Obviously, that you can see the fucker had it, written on, or Nick Khan already had it, or Cruz written down. You already know this questions. It's the other way around when Cruz asked the question. All this stuff was already staged, right? We already knew that the Khan had the fucking preparation. The dude went to law school, for Christ's sakes. The dude knows, even if he's wrong, he can argue and sound right, and frame it in a way where he's right.
Yep.
Oscar should have come in with his fucking lawyers. That guy who's helping you win that fucking, Virgil Ortiz case over there, bring his ass in here because you're gonna need him, fool. The fact that he went in there so unprepared it's a letdown, because you kind of, the reason he went and the reason Nico Ali Walsh went was to sort of represent boxing and give a good argument as to why this is a bad idea and this revival act. And, Nico, to his credit, did what he could. And he gave a really, just bringing up that antitrust lawsuit was significant enough. Like, yo, these guys are in this pickle right here. How the fuck do you think they're going to come and try to fix whatever they think is broken? But bam, man, I mean, Oscar just dropped the ball hard. But he says, everything was staged, and I'm sure it was, but he should have known that. I think he dropped the ball. But anyway, he's going to come up this week talking about what happened and everything like that. But he walked into a buzzsaw. Andrew, why wasn't Oscar more prepared for this shit? We knew it was going to happen.
Why wasn't he more prepared? I'm probably because he's Oscar De La Hoya, and we've heard of the the way he runs the company. It's really Eric Gomez. Oscar really isn't around. Blah blah blah. Right? He kind of like, it's funny, that video you sent me. That's kind of what they said that day too, huh? That was really, he looked like a kid that didn't do his homework or didn't study before a test. That's absolutely what it looked like. Look, you guys, I've got to lean heavy on. I know everyone's talking about, we can't let our guard down. This is when we don't take them serious, is when they're going to take over the sport, yada yada. As of right now, the belt is fake. The pay structure doesn't work in boxing, and the rankings are all B-level guys, right? I look at Oscar should have stuck heavy on. He's taking he's taking it away from the small promoters. He's taking away the small clubs. They should have went heavy on that. Like, they're promising these guys. Let's say you're a decent fighter and you get a title shot, right? So let's say you go from $100,000, you got a 5-fight deal. You do 2 fights at $75K, right? So you're in your 3rd fight, you get a title shot now, right? So you get $330,000, I believe, but you lose that title shot. You do not win. Well, now you drop back for your last 2 fights at the $75,000 mark. You're never going to get a title shot again, right? So they just made you a champion contender, but if you don't win, they're getting you at the dirt level cheap, and you probably have a hell of a fan base. Oscar didn't do a good enough job of explaining how they trap their guys into that, where the viewers are through the roof, right? But they're saying, but wait a minute, you lost, so technically that puts you right here, and I'm sorry, there's just nothing you can do about that. You signed for this. Well, no one signs for losing, but everyone that signs with Dana better. That's where Oscar could have did what he said. We're going to be taking everybody's O. This man builds his product around his fighters losing because it keeps them in the pay scale that they want. It keeps them fucking a prisoner of their pay. There's nothing they can do. When you signed, Miguel, when I signed, I was like, motherfucker, free fight. So yeah, they're gonna get me on the first two. But from here on out, I'm making 750,000, baby. $1.5 million every 2 fights, right? And you lost your very first title shot. I'm just saying it's not. It's common sense how, and it's not even me. I didn't do anything special. You hear the UFC guys talk about the fucking pay structure and the way the contracts hold you down. I'm not even talking about them saying not even fighting you. Then there's that whole aspect. If you piss these guys off, you don't even get a fight, and there's nothing you can do about it. So Oscar should have laid heavy on that. Oscar should have been heavy on. You think I'm worried about him signing Saul Alvarez? You think this guy right here wants to pay a guy 110, 20 million per night? Ask him when's the last time one of his guys were the highest paid athletes in the world. Ask him. It's things like that could have been laid heavy on.
The Forbes one, I think, would have been, why not? Like, how many times has a UFC fighter reached, and
100,
and the time, right? And the time that they did, it was probably a boxing fight, and it was Conor and fucking Floyd, right? So to throw that in there, I don't know. Oh man, there was so much ammo that he had to use to throw in there, and the fact that he did it. I mean, it's bad enough that he didn't have the ammo for whatever reason. He didn't bring it up. But even when they were asking Oscar questions about what the current Ali Act does, he was having a hard time even answering that shit. It's like, yo, do you not have a little earpiece or whatever with, like, Eric Gomez in the back saying, like, oh, okay, tell him this, tell me at least that, homie, fuck something, But it was, that was terrible. It's just I don't know what this is. I guess to Oscar to sort of defend himself, not in the courtroom, but afterwards, after the fact, he's going to try to, release whatever videos he have to kind of explain his situation, but that ain't going to do shit. You might as well not do anything, dude. Him talking about walking into a buzzsaw and sensing the corruption. Yes, you should have known that. You letting us know after the fact and whatever videos you're going to release on your next clapback isn't going to change shit, yo. You dropped the ball when you were up to bat, you swung and you missed.
If some podcast creator knows for a fact that the 3 gentlemen in the room all have accepted donations from TKO, why didn't Oscar and his people know that and know what he was stepping into at that moment? Right? Bring some heavier ammo, some lawyers. I don't even know how these things are, where if Oscar could have done that, or there's limits to what you can do when you get the stage, but should have just had a better game plan. With that being said, I'm still a little skeptical on the whole Zuffa thing. Yes, they got it done, and look, was it a complete win? Because Ted Cruz did come back and say, well, he thinks that they are going to approve it. It's not without changes that he wants to make to it. So either him and Dana sat in a room and Dana goes, hey, I got some new ideas. And he was like, great, I'll just say they're mine and we'll put them on there, which is going to suck. Like, if all Ted Cruz's ideas, Miguel, are for TKO's profit, then we know they just gave him more money to add shit to that bill, right? So, but I'm hoping that Ted Cruz is a fight fan and was like, yeah, you know what? Hey, Dana, I've watched a little UFC in my life, and what you guys say sounds great. It's not all hyped up to what you say it is, right? So I want to do this, and this, and maybe we see some changes on Zuffa's side. Remember, this isn't the change to the Ali Act. This is something for the Zuffa side,
which is stupid in and of itself. If they're coming in because they're claiming this is the problem with it, but they don't give 2 fucks about actually fixing it. They just want to be like, all right, we don't have to fix it. But, on ours, we're not going to include that shit because we're going to have a different. It's like, yo, you don't obviously really care about fixing these fucking things. Even that other dude, I forgot his name, but he was
I'm
like, are we
telling
going to
you.
get WrestleMania or what? In my fucking town, like, oh gosh.
Yeah,
even that.
bro. When Khan fucking said it doesn't, if you guys want to still fight for them, go fight for them.
Yeah.
He was literally telling you what kind of person he's looking for. I'm sorry, he's not here to fix it. He's here for the dumbass that's going to sign this shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all they want. They don't need no questions asked, man. You know what the thing is. When you come here, you're gonna get on a big platform. You might get some toys. You might get some T-shirts.
Yeah, some trading cards.
Yeah, some trading cards, and you're gonna become real big. Just sign right here. You say one thing about that. How much you make, though, you can go over there. Go sign with them.
Yeah.
So no, and dude, I went and looked up the UFC cards. Yeah, dude, $1. I didn't see any that were like Mickey Mantle. Go look up Royce Gracie. Go look up Royce Gracie's rookie card, bro. Or Ken Shamrock's rookie card. Tell me what these are going for, because these are some of the biggest legends, right? Go look up Rampage Jackson. Tell me what his rookie card's going
for. It's like, I got a Conor McGregor Rookie of the Year card right now. One of those. Like, look at it.
It was $1.30. It was $1.30, bro. So Khan can go fuck himself.
And how much does that go to the UFC? Because they're gonna get tested, right? How much does it go to the fucking fighter too? Oh, shit, man.
And when I looked these up, I was kind of nervous. I was like, because these are the best of the best, so maybe there is a market. You know what I mean? I was like, that's not a real market. So yeah, if I was Oscar, he could have been up trading cards. Like, let's go look at these trading cards that they talk about.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know what Oscar plans to show. I mean, I know what he plans to show, but what exactly that is going to accomplish, I don't know.
Nothing. He's just trying to save himself from looking like a jackass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Saving face.
Bro.
No, you're fine. I mean, that's exactly what I was leaning towards anyway. Like, that's kind of it's basically to defend himself, to be like, oh, that's the reason why, because it was against me. Yeah, they're all on the same fucking team. Yeah, you should have known that.
I didn't hear them shut Oscar down one time. They gave him the platform. He said what he said, and it just didn't come out correctly. And I will agree with you. I should have said it last week. My bad for not giving Nico Walsh.
Yeah. No, me too. I saw clips and I was like, this is the best he could fucking do. But then I saw more of it and I was like, oh shit, yeah, he did a lot better than I thought he did.
Yeah, at least he did have some valid points there that would make a person look silly for agreeing with Khan, going, yeah, you know what, you guys are the right thing. Going, if it's so right, one, why are they in our sport now? And two, why are they being sued by the whole and actually lost the lawsuit? It's not even being sued. They actually lost, and they are doing payouts.
Did they lose, or did they just settle?
Because settle is a loss.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing: like in the law, it won't look as a loss because it's like it ain't come to the completion. So now it looks like they didn't get to the point where they lost the settlement. They settled out of court before it even got there. So now it's like, oh, it gets dropped because they settled it without the assistance of the courts.
Yeah, but you're talking more on a technical stance. I'm talking on a common sense stance. When people argue about this at a bar, these guys paid out 300 and something, almost $400 million, dude. It's a lot of money,
Sure.
It's still nowhere near what those young men probably would have made in their heyday. The Anderson Silvas and the Chuck Liddells and the Tito Ortizes, what their merchandise and what their pay-per-views were actually selling back then probably trump what the fuck they were given through this settlement. But 400 million, still 400 million.
Yeah.
Because I want to say Anderson received 10 million is what they said on that show.
Oh, 10, okay.
Yeah, significant amount, at his age, that's a decent amount of change coming in. I would have loved it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were used to many millions before, it's obviously not the same. But if you didn't, for us guys, when you reach how old is he? 50 now? Like, oh, yeah, great, a nice $10 million check when you reach 50 years old. Sure, I'm down.
That's
for that.
Retirement, baby.
Yeah, fuck yeah, putting that on going away. But we'll see whatever Oscar has that again he'll take out of his busy fight week, because we are officially in fight week for Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez. So we'll see what his video says.
I don't care what his video says. I'm more interested in what Ted Cruz is going to do to this thing. We know it's probably going to get approved, right?
Mm.
3 people showed up. They're all donors, so or uh,
Recipients.
recipients of TKO. So what the fuck? We know it's going to get approved. We just need to know what it is. But like I said, I show no sympathy for the guys that sign with this thing. Right, this is all on you. Right, so they can move forward. I don't think the belt is going anywhere. I don't think the rankings are ever going to be the Ring magazine. I don't even think Zuffa is going to be around in 5 years. I really don't.
Zuffa
I
Boxing.
Zuffa boxing, Zuffa everything. I
Gotcha.
think Zuffa's gone as a company way before PVC, and it's only Miguel because they're not in it with their own money. They're in it because Turkey needed a face. I think he looked at boxing and was like, "Ugh, Bob Arum's too old. Oscar's kind of weird. His wife's kind of weird. I don't even think they like his girl." Right? These men
Yeah.
aren't into those type of women, right? So they're probably
No.
like, "No, Oscar's not the one." Eddie Hearn is licking my shoe right now. I'm not making this man a
Right.
boss. Lick my shoe, motherfucker. Lick my shoe. You know, fucking Frank Warren's old as shit. It's like they were looking for, they got this company, $7 billion. Dana's younger than all these rest of these guys, right? Maybe not Eddie, but he's still licking the shoe. So then that's when they decided, let's make Dana White the face of our boxing thing. And I think that's the only reason why Dana and TKO got involved in this. I think you get those guys.
I don't think that's the only reason. I mean, I think it's he painted a pretty picture and said, "Look at how much money we make.
Well,
Paying
yeah,
these fuckers, nothing." And then it's like, oh, well, clearly this guy has a track record of doing that, making a fuck ton of money. Majority goes to them, very little goes to the fighters. I'm down for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
but TKO, but they were never going to sign the guys to the Crawfords and the Canelos and all that. They didn't.
Yeah.
They were never going to do all of that. I think that's all been Turkey. So
Mhm.
all they seen coming in now. Look, the numbers are kind of all over the place on the internet too. Is it 10 million a year or is it 100 million a year for Zuffa? I read both numbers, bro. Yeah. The other day I read 100 million.
Oh, geez.
I
Oh,
know.
was
That's what I
there
said.
a raise? Goddamn. Because or was it okay? So I think originally, if I'm remembering, it was 10 million a year, Turkey's money. I think this was before they got with Paramount. So then the Paramount money comes in, and I think that bumps it up to 100
Maybe
million a year.
bumped it up.
That's what
Okay.
I'm thinking, because I want to say they had this whole thing already laid out, this whole plan, this blueprint before they got to Paramount, and I think Paramount is what forked up the rest of the cash. That seems logical to me, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, so that's the money that they got from Turkey was the 10 million. That's like, you're just doing something for nothing, right? Like you can let's try. That's what was probably said in the board meeting. Like, do you think we can do it? I don't know. Well, let's give it a shot. He's giving us money. He's giving us a platform. He backs everything, and so they got in. I think if Turkey goes away, they're like, dude, go back to the UFC. We're done.
Yeah.
They're doing fine over there.
Mhm.
They really cashed out already. To be honest with you, I don't see how they're not going to get another $7 billion contract.
No,
So really,
I
already
can't
cashed out.
imagine them getting. I mean, every time they've signed a new contract, it was for obviously more money from the time that they went from Fox to ESPN to now. But I can't imagine it'll be any more than that. That's like, I can't, like, that number is so fucking crazy. I can't even like compute it in my mind.
Yeah, no, they if they turn it around and start profiting, then maybe yes, because they're very early in their
Yeah,
contract.
right.
So if they were to turn this thing around, like that young man that just got the knockout, he's on that knockout, 5 knockouts in a row. The Samoan kid, the one that just broke his knee, dislocated his
Oh
knee,
yeah,
knockout still.
yeah.
I'm just saying, he looks like a ticket seller, bro.
Yeah.
He looks like definitely someone that would be getting people from all sides of the aisles, guys and girls. You get a fighter like that, I know he blew out his knee, so he's going to be sidelined for a while, but, maybe they can pull a rabbit out the hat like that and fucking start making money, start generating viewerships on Paramount. But without that happening, you're hearing the whole MMA world even say it. They're not going to make their money back. So this if it don't get turned around, they actually already peaked.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I'm trying to remember his name, Carlos Ulberg. That there's a guy blew out his knee. Current light heavyweight champ, new light heavyweight champ. But um, I I I think they're like with most things, it happens with every sport. It goes through these cycles where it just goes up and down, and there are times where maybe it's down, and it could be that we're at that point. So it is, like you said, it is very early on in the deal. So there's a possibility that we just might be in a dip. I say we because I'm a fan of the sport, but mixed martial arts in general, the
Yes.
UFC is in a dip, and they'll come back up at some point when they find the next American name or whatever the fuck, right? But yeah, I guess we'll see whatever Oscar decides to show us later this week. All right, so last one here. This is kind of a two-parter. So it was recently announced, I believe it was by Ring Magazine, yes, and Dan Rayfilm. Errol Spence versus Tszyu is reportedly being planned to take place on Sunday, July 26th. In Australia, meaning it will air on here in the United States Saturday night, July 25th. So yes, July 25th will also be the Saudi Arabia card that supposedly AJ is going to take part in, right, later on this summer. So I knew that date was going to come up later, but they are a day ahead of us. So over there, it'll be Sunday morning, I guess, or Sunday afternoon. In Australia, the 26th of July. Here, prime time, the 25th of July, Saturday night. And this is Errol Spence's comeback after being away for 3 years. Actually, 3 years to the day. I'm sorry, not to the month, because July, I might have been July 23rd, but July is when he got his ass handed to him by Terrence Crawford, 2023. So 3 years to the month, he makes a comeback, and his first opponent at 154 will be Tszyu. Now, before we get to the second part of the story, we've kind of talked about it a few times because we heard the rumors about it. Apparently, this is almost a final deal, or they're almost a signed fight. What kind of, and I guess again we'll see how what Errol Spence shows up. But let's say, Andrew, that the Errol Spence of old, the one before, I wouldn't even say the accident, one before the ass whooping to Crawford, if that guy shows up, does he beat Tszyu?
Unfortunately, yes, I believe he does.
Damn.
I don't. Yeah. Well,
Sorry,
Tszyu don't have.
Sam was into the show. Like, fuck you guys. You guys always throw him under the bus.
He doesn't have defense, right? His head don't move, so Spence has a field day with the target. Yeah, no, I don't have him winning in any stage of Spence's career, even the 3 years off.
How about immediately after the car accident? Like, as soon as he walked out of the fucking car, like he's still teeth loose as fuck, and he's like, okay, I'm half dead. Like, all right, come on, Tim, let's do it. How about that?
Yeah, then maybe Zoo's my favorite. That's funny. No, but 3 years off is going to give him his best shot at beating Spence, right? I mean, come on. Tszyu has to be just totally locked in for this fight. You've got a guy that's been out of the ring for a long time, was significantly beat down the last time he was in the ring, right? There might be a little bit of nightmares going on with Spence when he gets punched again, dropped by a jab that night. I mean, it was just all bad when he got in the ring for Crawford. So if I'm Tszyu, unfortunately, yeah, your defense is limited. You're going to get hit a lot, but I'm going balls to the wall. I'm using the fan. I'm using the home crowd, and I'm bringing it to Spence to see what he has left in that tank. Tszyu does throw a beautiful right hand. If his eye is damaged, right, and you can't see that punch coming, you might be able to get Spence out of there early. So yeah, if I'm Tszyu, I'm coming to see what's left in that tank of 3 years.
Do you think him being a southpaw, I'm talking about Errol Spence, similar, not body wise, but similar to Fundora, do you think he has more of a chance there? Because it seemed like Fundora had a much easier time landing those shots, the left in particular. I don't know if maybe, I'm sure the height had something to do with it, but he was able to land that left quite easily. Do you think Spence can land that left as easily?
Yes, it's just how often can he land it? How much power will be behind it, right? So there's a lot of other aspects in the fight that's going to come into play that we don't know about because of the 3-year layoff. Um, like I said, Miguel, I don't, I even have Spence a favorite with 3 years off.
Damn.
I'm just saying, Tszyu needs to come in and test that shit, right? No, because he's an American boxer. He's an American champion. The skills are better. The opponents are better. Like, Spence has always been a better fighter than Tszyu. So I would have had him the favorite the whole time. Doesn't mean he's going to win, but I have him the favorite. And so Tszyu switching training camps this late in his career, this might...
Don't spill it yet. I'm about to get to there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the second part of the story.
Oh. But yeah, there's a lot of aspects that go into this. All I'm saying is Tszyu, he has decent power. He's got a good right hand. Go in there, balls to the wall, and see what happens.
All right. Definitely interested in seeing how that unfolds. Let's see which specific Errol Spence shows up. Now, just go ahead and throw in that second part of the story here. This is another twist to the equation, another, I guess, twist to the story. It looks like, from what I've read here, Tszyu sacks team to put full faith in Jeff Fenech. Let me go ahead and read this here real quick. Tszyu has appointed Australian great Jeff Fenech as his new trainer after dramatically sacking his team for the second time in 3 fights, and he will meet with him on Friday to discuss Fenech also becoming his manager. All right. So not only is Tszyu entering this fight, which is a very important one in his career, at least to date, but he's doing so with a brand new team for the first time. So he's going to get acquainted with them. Going to coming up here very soon. I think this article was from the 23rd of April. So it was only a few days ago. And it seems as though he's going to go with Jeff Fenech. And if you guys aren't familiar with him, I remember him back in the day very vaguely, but let me go ahead and pull him up here real quick. 61 years old, fought in many weight classes, was a champ on a few different, I don't know if he's been, how many different weight classes he was a champ, but going through some of these here, fought some people, maybe didn't win, but Asuma Nelson, I think it was the last one. I fought him a couple of times, actually several times, I should say. But anyway, point is, he's an Australian great, as this article says, right? And I've seen him in people's corners a few times. I don't know, was he in Manny's corner for a while? Like I forget who. I want to say I've seen him in other people's corners regularly. So it's not like it's out of the blue or anything like that. But considering the importance of this fight here, it doesn't seem like it's a very good idea, at least from Tszyu's side, to switch teams entirely. I was reading the article here to see if there's any information as to why he decided to go with anybody different than his current team. It doesn't specify, so I don't know if there is an answer to that yet. If there's a possibility that he is here because he does train here every so often, Tszyu I'm talking about, I'm gonna see if I can ask him, like, what the fuck happened? Because according to this, there isn't anything additionally. I'm reading bits and pieces of this article, which, by the way, is on Boxing Scene. It says the junior middleweight had defeated Anthony Velasquez and Dennis Nurja, if I can pronounce that properly, with the Cuban Pedro Diaz as his trainer, and Mike Altamura and Darcy Ellis. All right, so, and this is here is co-managers with Jeff Fenech as his advisor. All right, cool. So Fenech was always part of the crew. Let me see here. Oh, shit. All right. Well, I don't know. I just got breaking news here. Andrew actually had to leave the show early because he was called. They basically hit him up. He is on call for his job, and they hit him up. He said it a few times on previous shows when he's on call, right? And more often than not, they don't call him, but it just so happens they called him here. So I'll go ahead and, finish the show here momentarily. But anyway, wanted to throw that in, this last story in there. Right before I can see on my screen, Andrew bolted. I was in the process of asking him if it's such a good idea to switch camps so early, or not so frequently, and right before a pretty big fight like Spence. I can't imagine that being a good idea. We've seen it a few times with fighters that do this regularly. Ryan Garcia to be the first example that comes to mind. But hey, there are times where it's successful and it does work out. I think Fenich has kind of been around with him for a while, so it isn't like it's new or foreign to him or anything like that. It's just taking that, I guess, promotion and being lead trainer, head trainer, and it seems as though he might even have him as manager. I can't imagine what might have gone on. It when I see a fighter go through this a few times with switching trainers or switching camps or switching teams, I got to be honest. The first thing that comes to mind is like, yo, who's the common denominator? It's you, homie. I wonder if there's a problem there. Um, I remember back when Tim first lost to Fundora, and after the fight, he was asked about that cut, that nasty gash that he got against Fundora, and whether or not his team should have stopped the fight and had the fight halted because of how bad the blood was, right? And the job that they were doing on his cut. He was asked about this and he said, no comment. That is very telling. Later on, I asked him about it and he was like, no, nothing big. We got over it, yada, yada. Well, it seems as though, at that point, he sacked that team and is now here. But anyway, it looks like he's going to go with Jeff Fenich. According to this, let me go ahead and read it one more time. For the second time in 3 fights. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but it is going to be, from what I can tell you, is going to be in Australia. At least that's the key. They're going to have that fight over there early. No, it'll be prime time here in the U.S. on the 25th of July, and I think early in the day, or I don't know if it's 24 hours exactly, but the July 26th in Australia. So, all right, I guess we're going to get Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence, or at least that's from what I'm reading here. Ring Magazine is saying that they're close to finalizing a deal. Alrighty, so my co-host here unfortunately had to bolt. He work duty calls, so he had to get out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and close the show. And then just a quick reminder, make sure to get drip. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't going to say that. But no, but a quick reminder, we're going to push the Wednesday show to Thursday because, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's going to be a media workout that's going to be open to the public at the MGM Grand for David Benavides and Zurdo Ramirez on Wednesday. So I'm going to be there, and it's going to be a bitch to get my ass back here in time to record a show. So we're just going to push the show to Thursday. So make sure to tune in on Thursday. But again, also keep your eye out on our YouTube channel on Wednesday because I will be posting some stuff on there. And if I find anybody to ask questions, I'll definitely do that. If I find Oscar, be like, Oscar, what the fuck were you thinking? Dick could have come with some more ammo to throw this here. But anyway, that's going to do it for us, guys. Unfortunately, he isn't here again, but for my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We'll see you guys check out our videos on Wednesday, but we'll see you guys on Thursday because Thursday will be our prediction preview show of both Benavides and Zurdo Ramirez and Inoue and Nakatani. We're going to throw that at you guys on Thursday. So anyway, once more, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Take care. Peace. Now I got to end this shit. Oh shit.